Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to That's Football for your latest transfer news, and we're going to fly straight into it. Declan Rice, Arsenal bid rejected, and Manchester City ready to swoop in. This is coming in from David Ornstein, Simon Stone, Talk Sport. Everybody's talking about it this morning. We'll also be talking about Newcastle, Barella, Casido, strikers at Chelsea. Lots to talk about this morning, but the significant update this morning is that not Newcastle, Arsenal have had a bid rejected for Declan Rice. West Ham are looking for around £100 million as a package. Arsenal have gone in a lot lower than that. You fear for Arsenal on this one. You know, there's something about Arsenal that they have had some bad luck. They had this last summer as well with Rafinha. Chelsea came in, then Barcelona. And, Arsenal have put a lot of work into Declan Rice. They can rely on the fact that Rice might just fancy the Arsenal, stay in London, might like the way they've wooed him, so to speak, seduced him, whatever you want to call it. They have put a lot of work in there, and there's no doubt that Declan Rice is impressed by it. But the problem will be if Pep Guardiola says, I want you in my midfield in a team that's just won the treble. You get to play with Jack Grealish and John Stones, who you know from England days, and Phil Foden, and you're going to come straight into that team and be a superstar of the future. Yes, people will say there's no credibility in that. It's Manchester City, but it doesn't stop Erling Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne, Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, the players I've just mentioned who are English. That's not going to be on Declan Rice's mind. It's going to be Pep Guardiola winning the Premier League, which is pretty much guaranteed in your first year. So I'd worry if I was Arsenal. I wouldn't. It's probably a little bit like the title, isn't it? You might push Man City close, but you'd expect Man City to win that. And we have been saying on this channel for a while, what are Man City doing this summer? Some people think that Man City are just going to sit there and do nothing. They haven't done nothing since Abu Dhabi took them over. They always spend money. They're going to spend money. Where are they going to spend money? Well, they seem to be a team under Pep where he's built, he's baked the cake, it's got the candles on, and he just adds a bit different layer of icing on every summer. And icing on the cake, Declan Rice for £100 million, well within what Man City can afford to do, probably about all they need to do, maybe a supplement with a couple of other players like they did last year with Akanji and Calvin Phillips. They'll sign 3 or 4 players. And I'd be worried about that. It's significant that Man City are entering that race. They should be able to beat Arsenal to that for a number of reasons. So it'd be a very significant deal for Arsenal. They're going to have to move quickly, and you almost can't move quick enough now because the fact that Declan Rice knows. Declan Rice has had talks with Man United in the last few weeks. He'll have had talks with Chelsea. He'll have talks with Bayern Munich. He may well have had talks with other clubs as well. He's probably had talks with 5 or 6 clubs. And West Ham are probably quite open to that because ultimately West Ham just want the right price. If someone plays the right price, they don't care where Rice goes. So I don't think Arsenal can move quick enough on this now. Even if they went there's £100 million and West Ham went West Ham are still going to say, hey, Man City, what do you want to do? So they're locked in a head-to-head with Man City here, and it would be a very significant win for Arsenal if they can do it, and it'll be a very significant loss if they don't. It doesn't mean that they can't go elsewhere, but obviously you want to get your number one targets, and Declan Rice is Arteta and Arsenal's number one target. Personally, it makes no difference to me because I would like Declan Rice to come to Manchester United, but where would I rather he went? I think he'd do more damage at Arsenal in a positive sense. I think at Arsenal he plays every single week. He goes straight into that team. There's a massive hole in their midfield and he instantly makes them better. I think at Man City he will still do really well, but there might be an adjustment period there. So I don't really want him to go to either, but Man City might be. Look, Man City are going to win the league next year anyway. As a United fan, we'd be looking to try and go past Arsenal this year. So it's sad, but that's how far ahead Man City are. Let us know in the comments what your thoughts are on that. Leads us nicely into Casido, actually. I was speaking to somebody about this yesterday, about Casido, and effectively the situation with Casido is, it's like you and your mates, and there's we don't have to be mates actually, you and a group of people, there's a big bag of money on the floor with £1 million in it, and you're all fighting it out to get to that bag of money. That's what's going on with Casido. And, it's a big prize to win. Bayern Munich, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United have been asked to be kept informed. You wouldn't rule Man City out actually, because if they're in for Rice, why would they not be in for Casido? So that is in the industry a really exciting deal at the moment. Now, whether it will be done in the next week or two, I don't know, but I think that keep an eye on that, because it's a really, I mean, it's very exciting for Brighton because they're going to get a really good fee again. Markets dictate the price. Like if you're in that situation, look, Chelsea will go really, really hard for Caicedo because they need that sort of a signing, but they don't have Champions League football. Arsenal, if they don't get Rice, will probably go really hard for Caicedo, and Brighton will look at the price for Rice and use that as a gauge as well. United won't go into that race because we just won't have the money to do that. But Bayern Munich might have a look at it as well. So, look, the Caicedo deal's really wide open. I don't think even from Caicedo's side they've made their mind up yet, and he's going to go for a good price. He is, and I suppose that was always going to make it difficult for Arsenal. Really, Rice and Caicedo would be a dream summer and massively improve them. But you're not going to get much change out of 200 million for two players, and the reason for that is you're competing with big clubs for both players. So keep your eye on Caicedo. I think that's going to be really, really interesting as well. And I think, look, that story about Newcastle and Barella. I mean, I said this when Newcastle were getting out of relegation with Saudi Arabia over a year ago. When they get in the Champions League, which they will, they won't leave. And some people seem to think that Newcastle are vulnerable because, Callum Wilson, Dan Burn, Longstaff, Willett, can they do it again? They're not going to do it again. Those players will still be part of the squad. But the reason they're going for the Barellas is that they're following the Man City blueprint and they're doing it quicker. Like, they are a rich club with rich ambitions, and they're in the Champions League now. That's why they're going for the Barellas. That's how you stay in the top four. You go and get players like that. Now, whether they can get Barella or not, if they do, Newcastle are going to change very quickly over the next 2 years to having people like Dan Burn at left back, to having left backs that you go, bloody hell, I wish we had that. And I'm not dismissing Dan Burn there, but it's just the progression of Newcastle. It's what's going to happen. I said, look, I don't think Eddie Howe will be the manager in 3 years. I hope he is. But the expectations of Newcastle are just going to go up and up and up, and they'll change things as it goes along. So, whether they can get Barella or not, that's the sort of significant signing Newcastle's going to do. And also, you look at the Premier League fixtures coming out today, Newcastle's first 3 games of the season, they've got Villa, City and Liverpool. And Liverpool have got Chelsea, Bournemouth and Newcastle. Newcastle and Liverpool have got 3 tough opening games to the season. You can't hit the start of the season slow, because if you do, you could drop 7-8 points. And if you do that, you're never going to catch up again. So these clubs, these transfers, those fixtures, they're going to make a big impact. If you've got a slower start to the season where you look at your first 3 or 4 and you go, yeah, we can ease our way in, transfers maybe you're a little bit more relaxed. But when you've got big games at the start of the season, you can't be. I need these players on pre-season. We've got to be cooked and ready to go on the first day. So look, Newcastle, Liverpool, no surprises that they're trying to get deals done quick. And I think it will have a big impact. And that race for top 4 this year is incredible. It's almost like people aren't working the maths out. I think this year somebody can get in with 5th place because of the way the Champions League is going to change. But Newcastle won't get in for 5th place because they haven't got the pedigree in Europe over the last 10 years. So, Man City will win the league. Arsenal, Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Newcastle. That's 6 teams. One of them's missing out anyway. And it could be 2 missing out if you finish 5th and you haven't got good history in the Champions League to get in through the new way. So competition's rife. You've got to hit the season very, very quickly. I think it's going to be really exciting. Watch out for Chelsea with Vlahovic, by the way. They want Osimhen, but there's talks that Osimhen might stay at Napoli because he's been priced out of the move, so he might sign a new contract. If that happens, Chelsea still need a striker. Keep an eye on Vlahovic. They're doing a lot of stuff around Italy at the moment. Of course, Vlahovic at Juventus. Get your comments in, though. Very, very busy. We might have another video for you later on today because that's just the way it's going at the moment. So make sure you smash a like and subscribe to That's Football. Get your comments in below. Where's Declan Rice going to go? Let's see.